हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So we will continue with the sixth chapter. I'll just share the screen. There, Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva, and this is very today's Shivratri, so it's good we are glorifying Lord Shiva. And Maitreya Vacha Atadeva Gana Sarve Rudrana Niki Parajita Shulapatis Nistrim Shah Gada Parigrahamukarai Sanchinna Binna Sarvanga Sartvik Swabhaya Bhakula Swayambhuve Namaskritya Kartsnenaitan Navedayan. All the priests and the other members of sacrificial assembly and all the demigods, having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by the weapons like trident and sword, approached Lord Brahma with great fear. After offering obeisances, they began to speak in detail of all the events which have taken place. So now they understood the seriousness of the problem. One thing what happened is Sati left her body, just just a little, and then Lord Shiva showed his anger also. So Lord Shiva is in great loss in that way. He lost Mother Sati, and whom he had given half of his body. So a very dramatic state. Of course, Lord Shiva is not affected by it, but still it is he will be again united with Sati in terms of Parvati. That is there, but still they made a mistake. And that's actually very great mistake they did, all the demigods. They also should have stopped or protected or did something, but instead they sided Daksha. And then Lord Shiva has to punish all of them. And they came to their senses with whom they are dealing with. And then this is both Lord Brahma and Vishnu have already known that such events would occur in the sacrificial arena of Daksha, knowing beforehand they did not go to the sacrifice. So they were not present when this incident is happening. So Brahma got the invitation, but he waited for this whole event to happen. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. The Lord says, I know everything that has happened in the past and going to happen in the future. Lord Vishnu is omniscient. And he therefore knew what would happen at Daksha's sacrificial arena. For this reason, neither Narayana nor Brahma attended the great sacrificial performance by Daksha. Now we may have doubt that if you know something future, how can you enjoy? Because if you are knowing this is how it happened, so this is little inconceivable. Because in spiritual world, there is always present only. We have past, present, and future. That is only for material world because this has a cause and effect. The spiritual world don't have any cause and effect. That's why there is no past, present, future. There is no time fact. Time is only to enhance the past times, but it is not having cause and effect. So it is little difficult for our logical brain to understand how this is something like this is possible. But anyway, they will know the future, and it is some of the personalities they will know future, but not everything. Whatever Lord reveals, that means. So for Brahma, Lord revealed, okay, this is going to happen. तदा कन्या विभुप्राह तेजसी कृतागसी क्षेमाय तत्र स भूयान् न प्रायेण बुभूषतान्. When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who have attended the sacrifice, he replied, "You cannot be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot have happiness in that way." So Brahma is very clear. Like we discussed this pastime of in Mahabharata also, I told this a few times when when Yudhishthir Maharaj he was doing this Rajasuya sacrifice. At the end of the sacrifice, the bell should ring. But one day it did not ring. Then they approach Krishna. Krishna tells, "You did not feed this Brahmana. Vaishnava is very humble." So they call and bring him and feed him. And still the bell did not ring. Because what happened, Draupadi, she made so many varieties, and this Brahmana, being very detached, he mixed everything and ate. So she felt offended. Offended in the sense she felt, "Arey, I work so hard making so many items and he's just mixing and eating. He's not tasting them properly." Then everybody said, "What happened?" Then they all looked at Draupadi. She said, "I only thought in the mind that no, this fellow is behaving like this." And they said, "What to do? Call again." And this time they did not allow Draupadi to serve. And then things went well. The point is, uh, the point, uh, wait. So here we see that then the sacrifice was, then the bell started ringing. So similarly, when in our chanting also, every day we are chanting, if I offended somebody, thought negative of anybody, had some hostile thought anybody, any negative thought for anyone, or even if we are thinking I am better than him, or we neglected somebody, our bell don't ring. That means every day we are doing sacrifice. We may not do Rajasuya sacrifice, but every day we are doing sacrifice. Yajna vai Vishnu. Our life should be sacrifice. Yajnartha karmano anyatra lokovim karma bandhana. If you don't want to get entangled in this metal world, we should live yajna. We have to perform sacrifice and our life should be sacrifice. If not, we are entangled. Now, to do sacrifice and it should be successful, we should not commit any offenses. This is actually very clear. You cannot be happy executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offend his lotus feet. You cannot be happy. You cannot have happiness in this way. Tad akarnya vibhupraha tejasi kritagasi kshemaya tatra sabhuyan na prayena bubhushatam. So this is very does not exist. And Lord Brahma explained to the demon. So every day our chanting is a sacrifice and it should come, the result should come for us. And not coming means we are doing this some of the offenses. Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that although Daksha wanted to enjoy the results of fruitive sacrificial activity, it is not possible to enjoy when one offends a great personality like Lord Shiva. It was not good for Daksha to have died in the fight because he had lived. If he had lived, he would have committed such offenses at the lotus feet great personalities again and again. So why Lord Shiva showed mercy is to protect Daksha. Now you may say, what is protection? He got a goat head. No, you killed him and giving a goat head. How can you protect a person? What is protection given by Lord Shiva to Daksha is to keep him in that post again. He said, "Arey Daksha, if I don't punish you, you'll end up in hell, or you'll become one of the politician in Kali Yuga." He don't want to make him like that. He want him to keep a post of Daksha, and Daksha continued to remain Daksha, and he leaves his body. And next life also is Daksha only. That means he is one of the top people, progenitors who are like fathers for all the creation, and he is doing very great service to the Lord. So Daksha continued doing service to the Lord. So that is a mercy. How? Because Shiva stopped him for committing more offenses. He is only Daksha committed only offense to Shiva. Of course, next life he commits offense to Narada. But both of them they show compassion to him and they protect him. In next life also, Narada comes and protects Daksha when he commits offenses. So the point what I want to tell is, so that is mercy only. We may look at what is the mercy? You killed and put a god head, but he made him continue remain. He did not make him made him get degraded like and born in Kali Yuga to become a politician here. So that is the point. So here Prabhupada is telling it was good for Daksha to have died in the fight, because if he had lived, he would have committed such offenses at the lotus feet of great personages again and again. So, according to Manu's law, when a person commits murder, punishment is beneficial for him, because if he is not killed, he might commit more and more murders and therefore be entangled in his future lives for having killed so many persons. This is also Manu Samhita. If you murder, you should take a capital punishment. Why? So that your pain is reduced. So you will get suffering of one life, but otherwise it's again and again future life. So therefore, king's punishment of a murderer is appropriate if those who are extremely offensive are killed by the grace of the Lord. That is good for them. If that is also very good. In other words, Lord Brahma explained to demigod that it was good for Daksha to have been killed. So it looks like very cruel, but it actually not cruelty, it is compassion. The rules are very tough. We have to understand. See, Lord is also not very happy punishing living entities. We may question why such tough rules are there in the Lord's creation. Why such severe punishments in Lord creation? See, Lord is not enjoying punishing living entities. Lord is not happy sending a living entities to hell. No, he's not happy like that. His purpose of all these punishments and all is to rectify our mentality. So if we are ready to rectify our mentality, Lord will immediately make us free from all the sufferings. That is the point. He is not like a mother. I give this example again and again. If the child does so many mistakes and comes to mother and says, Mother, sorry, I will not do it. And the elder brother will be complaining. He did this also, this also, this also. And this small fellow boy, he is telling to mother, sorry, mama, sorry, mama, sorry, mama. Mother says, okay, okay, no problem. Come, come, come. So now mother is not want to punish the child. He only want to see the child is repenting and he don't want to repeat. Mother says, and Suniti says that Lord's love for living entity is like millions of mothers. Can you imagine if a millions of love of mother is there? Such love, why a Lord will punish? He will be more compassionate. He only want to see that we rectify ourselves. Now also, at right now, if he says, Lord, I sorry, I will not do anymore. No more karma. That's why we don't have karma. When we say devotees don't have karma means what? This is the point. We say to the Lord, Lord, sorry, I'll not do it. I want to be with you. Lord says, no problem. Come, come, come. I'll take care. Little bit you have some things. I will try to rectify them. Small problems I'll give you, but it is only for your good only. So it's like a medicine. So now whatever pain or suffering we get, it's like a treatment Lord is giving to the devotee to rectify him, to take him back home, back to God. It is nothing to do with karma in that way. Because like mother also sometimes beats and sometimes give medicine, sometimes chastises. She only want to rectify. So how Lord will do it? So this is the point here. So the punishments, the capital punishment or this punishment, hellish punishments, any punishments is only to help living entity. It is not Lord is happy doing it. And that's what when Ram says, no, even Ravana comes and asks forgiveness, I'll say, okay, okay, forgiven. Array, he did so many mistakes, no problem. Jagai and Vidya did so many mistakes, no problem. So it's not a question of how many mistakes you did. So question, are you ready? Because see all these mistakes and all, that is not for the soul. That's only for the external body and mind. Soul on its own, it is very pure. The Lord just want that soul be in its own state. Don't identify with this body and mind and start committing all this. Because even the soul cannot be punished. Even the suffering is not for the soul anyway. It is for the body and mind only. And mistakes are done by the body and mind only. I identify that I am suffering. Say, like the third canto, this example, Brahma, this example is given that teacher threatens the child. I will cut your head and hang at the entrance, and you will see your head hanging. No, head is cut. How can you see it is hanging? So it is not possible. But you imagine that, oh, something is happening to me. So the punishments which we are getting in this material world to the body and mind is the soul identifying with them. That's why it is punished. But you don't identify. That's why for a very Paramahamsa, there is no pain and pleasure because you don't identify only with the body. He knows I am not the body only. So for him, like Sukadev Goswami state, not all. It is a very, very exalted. So they don't identify with the body. What is happening? So they did not wear even clothes also because they don't identify like that. So here we should not question the Lord in that way. And then you have excluded Lord Shiva from taking part in the sacrificial results, so therefore you are all offenders at his lotus feet. Still, if you go without mental reservation and surrender unto him, fall down at his feet, he will be very pleased. So now, Lord Shiva is, Brahma is clearly telling. Even neglect is an actually greatest offense. See, if I have some problem with him, I go and chastise him or speak something. That is one level okay. But if you neglect, that is much more offensive because at least when we are chastising, you are acknowledging that the person exists. Like I came, I know I said, okay, you are this, you are that. I made him hear so many things. But at least I acknowledge his presence. But you are neglecting, you are not even acknowledging his presence. That actually creates such a big problem. It's like it hurts the ego so bad. You don't feel that I exist only. It is as good as. So here, what uh, demigods may say, Array, we did not speak anything about Lord Shiva. Only Daksha spoke. We did not even approve what Daksha spoke. But what did they do? They neglected. When Lord Shiva was not given and all, they did not mind. Okay, it is none of our business. No, if you are saying that it is neglected, you should have at least taken objection. Arey, how are you neglecting Lord Shiva? So you are part of that offense, even though you may not directly connected, but you approved it by you participating. If you see that Lord Shiva is neglected, you should have left it. You said, no, no, if Lord Shiva is not there, we cannot do because he's like main person there. So they did not do. So it punished. But Lord Shiva is also called Ashatosh. Ashu means very soon, and Tosh means to be satisfied. The demigods were advised to go to Lord Shiva and beg his pardon because he's very easily pleased. It was certain that their purpose would be served. The Brahma knew the mind of Lord Shiva very well, and he was confident that demigods who were offenders at his lotus feet could mitigate their offense by going to him surrendering without reservation. So this is a important point. Like when we are when we approach a person and try to please him and do something, then he will be definitely his heart will melt. And for great personalities like Lord Shiva, it is much more easy because they are very compassionate. They love the living entities. They consider them as their children only, and they are actually children. So there is no problem for Lord Shiva to forgive, and it is today's Shivaratri. So and very famous song of Lord Shiva, where in South India we sing, and Brahma Murari Surarchita Lingam Nirmala Bhashita Shobhita Lingam. And in that one para comes Dakshasuyajna Vinashakalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. So one of the glorification of Lord Shiva is he destroyed Daksha's yajna. And then Ravana Dharpa Vinashakalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. He says he has subdued the pride of Ravana also. One past event happens like that. So now the point here is that Lord Shiva is very nice, very much pleased. So we are very fortunate to discuss on Lord Shiva. We glorify Lord Shiva as Gopeshwar Mahadev. See, what happens is if we want to enter in the one, the parikrama starts with Gopeshwar Mahadev. From there only we should start parikrama for Vrindavan. First darshan in Vrindavan we start is Gopeshwar Mahadev. Why? Gopeshwar Mahadev, he helps us to give up our false identity in this material world. Then only we can enter Vrindavan. We cannot enter Vrindavan with material identities. I am so and so and so and so and so and so. Give it up as a spirit soul, enter into Vrindavan, you can access Vrindavan. See, now if I have to define we have to define ourselves. We will say, I am so and so, I am a man, I am a woman, I am intelligent, I am dumb, or I am this family. We are identifying ourselves with all the energies that are connected to us. As a soul, we are not identifying. We identify with the energies. Like I created the house, I am a owner of the house, I am the boss of this company, I am the father of the children, or I am the in charge, I am this my abilities, my skills. So we identify with the energies which we have. The purpose of the energies for us is to please us, but that is not actually correct. The purpose of energy is to please the master of the energies. Even though the energies which we have are Krishna's energies and meant to please him, but we identify ourselves with the energies that are having with us, which is a false identification. So Lord Shiva helps us to get rid of these false identifications which we have. Then only we can enter into Vrindavan. That's why we start with Gopeshwar Mahadev. He is the person who is actually giving us right identity. False ego, Lord Shiva is the predominating deity for false ego. He helps us to stay in this metal world, and he can help us to get out of this metal world also, both. One of the persons who can give Krishna Prem is uh, Govardhan and Lord Shiva also, Gopeshwar Mahadev also. He also can give us Krishna. That means what he is doing is helping us to get rid of this false identification. Oh, and that is his service. And we have to go to him to get rid of it. And here all the demigods are going to Lord Shiva, and they are knowing their position. We said, okay, we became our false ego, we did mistake. No, please forgive. Lord Shiva says, yes, yes. So Lord Brahma also advised them that Lord Shiva is so powerful that by his anger, all the planets and the chief controllers can be destroyed immediately. Also, he said that Lord Shiva was especially sorry because he had recently lost his dear wife and was also very much afflicted by the unkind words of Daksha. Under the circumstances, Lord Brahma suggested it would behoove them to go at once and beg pardon. So it is very tragic situation for Brahma. So this is actually what Lord Shiva is. His wife died and he got insulted. It is very sad for Lord Shiva. Of course, Lord Shiva is not sad, but still it is wrong for. And no, you are directly dealing with the supreme entity of this creation, one of the supreme lords of the creation, Brahma. Means one of the three predominating deities, and you are offending him only. And not only such a small offense, you just spoke some word, but his wife died. So actually, such a cruel material nature. Of course, it does not apply to great personalities like Shiva and Brahma, but they don't get so much affected. It is a lesson for us. And the demigods are told, okay, go and ask forgiveness. And basically, they are all doing great job actually. Demigods, they are not some ordinary people and just whiling out the time doing some sense gratification. No, they are taking great responsibility for the creation. And while doing and there is always a chance of becoming proud, there is always chance of committing mistakes. So this always happens. Mental nature to err is human. So all the living entities who are there other than Brahma, even Brahma also commits mistakes. So he also did this Brahma Vimohan Leela. So mistakes are happens, and because they are in responsible post, when they immediately ask forgiveness, they are forgiven. And then they can continue doing the service also. So they are not removed from the post. They just, that's why they are demigods, because they come to their senses, understand what their mistake is, and then try to rectify. Whereas asuras, they don't want to rectify. First thing is, they don't think they are did wrong also. When it comes to demigods, the difference is both of them will commit mistakes. Indra also did mistakes, and other demons also did mistake. Brahma also did mistake. All the demigods, Varuna did mistake, and Lord Krishna had fighting with Shiva, Varuna. He didn't fight with Varuna, but at least Indra, Brahma, everybody did mistakes with Krishna. And then Asuras also did mistakes. When it comes to Asura, Lord killed them. When it comes to demigods, Lord forgave them and gave the post again. What is the difference? When it comes to Asuras, they don't accept that they did mistake. They don't ask forgiveness. They don't feel guilty for it. And they don't have a desire to serve. So this is the problem. When it comes to demigods, they want to continue serving. They are repenting. They are forgiving. For us also, if you want to, that means Yasyas Bhagavati Kinchana Sarvair Gudesh Satra Samasate Sura. We get the qualities of demigods, means we should always have the desire to serve. We have a desire to serve, and we also want to we it's not problem if you are committing mistakes. What is important is we should ask forgiveness, feel repentance, and have a desire to serve. Then that's sufficient. Lord will take care rest of the things. We will come to our original state. But if we are not having any of these things, then there is no hope. Doing mistake is not a problem. Problem is if you are not repenting, that is a problem. If you lose the desire to serve, that is a problem. If you are not asking forgiveness, that is a problem. So then nobody can do anything. So here, when all these great personalities, they come to Lord Shiva, they did a mistake, and they did not do any small mistake also. Shiva lost his wife. Can you imagine? That's such a big mistakes somebody is doing. You are, because of you, his wife is died, and then you have to go and ask him forgiveness. In normal case, in material world, nobody will forgive. And that to your dear wife, you have given part of your body, nobody will forgive. But Lord Shiva will forgive. So he says, Lord Brahma said that no one, not even himself, Indra, all the members assembled in the sacrificial inn and all the sages could know how powerful Lord Shiva is. Under the circumstances, who dare to commit an offense at his lotus feet? So, this is a very important thing to understand. After Lord Brahma advised the demigods to go to Lord Shiva and beg his pardon, it was suggested how he should be satisfied and how the matter should be placed before him. Brahma also asserted that none of the conditioned souls, including himself and all the demigods, could know how to satisfy Lord Shiva. But he said, it is known that he is very easily satisfied. So let us try to satisfy him by falling at his feet. See, he is not Jiva Tattva, he is Shambhu Tattva. And that's the reason. He's not like any of the living entities. He, that is the mistake they are doing. Actually, the position of the subordinate is always to surrender to the Supreme. That is the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord always, the Lord asks everyone to give up all kinds of concocted occupations and simply surrender unto Him. That will protect the conditioned souls from all sinful reactions. This is a very, 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 very important point. See, what is the training that we should get from childhood is our happiness is in the happiness of my superior. If this one thing is understood, life is very easy. But somehow very wrong training is given, and that is the problem of the modern civilization. They don't teach this one thing. Like Pandavas, na, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, independently very talented. But they know that we will be happy if we please our elder brother Yudhishthir. That's all. So he is telling, okay, I am putting Bhima as a in the gambling. I am putting him as a bet, and then he lost Bhima, and Bhima was okay with it. He did not fight only. He lost. Arjuna lost. Now they may say, "Arey, I am fool or what? How can you bet me? I am an individual person." No, they are just obedient. And that's actually what is. Actually, the position of subordinate is to always surrender to Supreme. The instruction. Lord always asks everyone. uh, So then what happens is, now if you are surrendering to an authority and authority surrenders to Krishna. So ultimately you get connected to Krishna. That's why when Rishabdev says, Pitana Sasya, Janani Sasya, and Mata, and he says you cannot become mother, father, guru, and demigod, and all these things if you are not helping them to surrender to the Supreme Lord. So through you, they will learn how to surrender. So I see my Guru surrendering. He is the best servant of Krishna. So now by seeing him, I also serve Krishna. By surrendering to my Guru, I learn it. And that is why we get death every time again and again. Why? This is one of the main reason of death. Because when we are very small, innocent children, few months old, in the lap of mother, we are very peaceful, happy, and we are carefree. We know she will protect in any situation. We are happily sleeping. There may be some very terrible situation going on in the house, but the child is very peacefully sleeping because he knows I will be taken care. That innocence and that surrender of the child is actually what Lord is expecting from us all the time. So what happens when we grow bigger and bigger, then we try to be independent of parents, and then we try to first is independent of parents, and why it happens is because of pride. We become proud and we start becoming independent. So we lose that simplicity and innocence, and then we suffer, and we are not able to surrender to Lord. And then we have to die again. Lord says, okay, try again. By surrendering, by learning that simplicity and innocence, and parents should teach the child to develop that love and innocence and surrender to the Lord by parents doing by their own example. So in that way, what happens? The child learns, okay, this is how I should surrender to, because he is surrendering to the authority, mother and father, and they are surrendering to Supreme Lord. So they teach him how to surrender to Supreme Lord. And then slowly, he will learn to surrender. And then once you surrender to Supreme Lord, no more birth. Why the birth again and again? Why Lord is punishing? Lord is not punishing, He is giving an opportunity because where Lord is suffering. Because of our pride, we are being independent, we are in so much anxiety, so much of distress and all, which is not needed for living entity. It can be blissful all the time. But how it can be blissful? When it is so innocent and simple. Then Lord is saying, I am already taking care of you. Why are you so much worried? Because we want to be independent, we want to, that pride is there. That's why we are suffering. And uh, we have to learn the lesson. Whenever we learn that lesson, Lord says, yes, in spiritual world, nobody suffers because they know everything is taken care by Lord. It is according to His will only everything happens. He is ready. And this is the instruction. Simply surrender unto him. That will protect the condition source for all sinful reactions. So child is trained properly. Yes, my happiness is in the happiness of superiors. So then my superior's happiness is in their superior, and their superior is Guru's happiness, and Guru's happiness in Krishna's happiness. That's how. So the system was very nicely created. Nowadays they don't teach like that. They say you have to be independent. How can be, that's why acharyas they sing, that mm, this is swasantra jivane. I want to live an independent life and I suffered very badly. If you don't want to die, this is the formula. And we die every time because we feel there is an alternative. That's the point. Hope I did not confuse any of you. Similarly, in this case, Brahma also suggested that they go and surrender to the lotus feet of Lord of Shiva. For since he is very kind and easily satisfied, this action would prove effective. Saihtam adishya surajastutai tutai tai samvitya praribha saparjesh. पराजशै ययो स्वधिष्ण्यां निलयं पुरद्विष कैलाश अर्द्रिः पर प्रवरं प्रियं प्रभो. Thus, after thus instructing all the demigods, the Pitas, and the lords of the living entities, Lord Brahma took them with him and left for the abode of Lord Shiva, known as Kailasha. The abode of Lord Shiva is known as Kailasha, is described in 14 verses which follows. And so there is a question. Is it possible that Krishna show next birth if devotee wish, Prabhuji? Uh, yeah, he may show, but I. But why we want to show? Why we want to know our next birth? It may be possible. Some of them they may know that I may be born here. It's possible also. Maybe for some great personalities. And another question is Sadashiva Loka also goddess Parvati and his original associate reside? Yes, they all reside there. Original personalities and their counterparts, they appear into this metal world in different worlds. जन्मौषधि तपो मंत्र योग सिद्धिर्निरेतरै जुष्टं किन्नर गंधर्वैर अप्सरोभिर्वतं सदा. The board known as Kailash is full of different herbs and vegetables, and it is sanctified by Vedic hymns and mystic yoga practice. Thus, the residents of the abode are demigods by birth and have all mystic powers. Besides them, there are other human beings who are known as Kinnaras and Gandharvas and are accompanied by their beautiful wives who are known as Apsaras or angels. So now the description of Kailash is there. So there may be different abodes of Lord Shiva. So one of the thing at Ilavata Varsha also. So we should not get confused. When the description comes, it is talking about he can have so many places, and it is his wish wherever he want he can stay. नाना मणिमणैर् संगैर्नाना धातुर्विचित्रितैः नाना द्रुमलता गुल्मैर्नाना मृगगणाव्रतैः. Kailasha is full of mountains filled with different kinds of variable jewels and minerals and surrounded by all varieties of valuable trees and plants. The top of the hill is nicely decorated by various types of deers. So this is a very interesting thing, that the beauty of this situation, like Kardamuni's opulence or Lord Shiva's opulence and other places, when the heavenly damsels they are explained, they are described with natural beauty more than the palaces and other things are also there. But along with that, they have gardens, flowers, fruits, bearing trees, and birds, and other beautiful things are described. So it is more connected. But now, city means cities' beauties are how many skyscraper buildings, and they try to make some within the society, they make try to make some garden and some fountain, but it is like everywhere around you are seeing only concrete jungle only. So this is not at all beauty, it is only punishment. And people are very happy. The five-star hotels and all, they are not actually opulence only compared to opulence what is considered in the heavenly planet or Vedic times. He says there are many waterfalls and mountains, and there are many beautiful caves in which very beautiful wives of the mystics are found. So this is the beauty of that area, not like concrete jungles. Mumbai city, New York City, and Delhi. Actually, such great pollution, even Hyderabad also. I like Hyderabad because I am brought up here and everything is here, my college and all. But it is not actually good place for any spiritual practice. It's such a horrible place. And very, very passionate. Go out, you immediately get affected by mode of passion. On Kailashil, there are always rhythmical sound of the peacocks, sweet vibrations, and the bees humming. Cuckoos are always singing, and other birds whisper among themselves. Because the people now have very heavy desire to enjoy here. That's the reason it is not very conducive and favorable. Very, very heavy desires. Just to go there, you can feel that. We also feel we should do something in life. But it is not actually. When we are staying in such serene environment, mind is very calm, and then it can meditate on something higher. That is the advantage. There are tall trees with straight branches that appear to call the sweet birds. And when the herds of elephants pass through the hills, it appears that the Kailashil moves with them. When the waterfall resound, it appears that Kailash Hill does also. So, such beautiful, nice descriptions. The whole of Kailash Hill is decorated with various kinds of trees, of which the following names may be mentioned: Mandara, Parijata, Sarala, Tamala, Tala, Kovidara, Asana, Arjuna, Amarajata, that is mango, Kadamba, Duli Kadamba, Naga, Punnaga, Champaka, Patala, Ashoka, Bakula, Kunda, Kur, Kurubaka. The entire hill is decorated with such trees which produce flowers with fragrant aromas. Saranarna Satapatischa Varareku Jatibihi Kubja Kairmallika Bischa Madhavi Bischa Manditam. The other trees also which decorate the hill, such as golden lotus fir, Chinomin tree, Malati, Kubja, Mallika, and Madhavi. Kailash Hill is also decorated with such trees as Kata, jackfruit, Julara, banana trees, Plakshana, Nyagrodas, and trees producing Acifitoda. Also, there are trees of betel nuts, Burajapata, Patra, and also a Rajapuja, blackberry, and similar other trees. Oh, some English translations are not allowed. So Prabhupada directly wrote in Sanskrit only because the name for them in Sanskrit to English are not available. They are mango trees, Priyala, Madhuka, and Inguda. Besides these, there are other trees like thin bamboos, Kichaka, and various other bamboo trees, all decorated the tracks of Kailash Hill. And there also I was actually one confusion always comes to me, and so many trees comes, now so many leaves falls on the ground, so it makes very no whole ground is full of all these dried up leaves and all. And how can it be beautiful? Because in Govardhan Eco Village and all, there is always we have some workers coming and cleaning all the pathways so that it is free from all dried leaves and all. It's a big task to keep all the garden neat and clean, especially from the dried leaves. For Vrindavan, that is clear because there are so many maid servants, and all. They always keep the forest neat and clean. They always clean it for Krishna's pastime. And I was thinking about these forests, how so many are there and how they can keep. And then there are many kinds of animals like deers, monkeys, boars, lions, ricks, salakas, forest cows, forest asses, tigers, small deers, buffaloes, and many other animals who fully enjoy their life. So when animals are there, then also they make some. If they are carnivorous animals, there are crops of herbivorous animals, and then there is other contamination. So how they keep it neat and clean is a confusion. But maybe it is Some arrangement they will have, because to keep all the pathways and everything. There are varieties of deers such as Karnartha, Ekapada, Ashwasya, Vraka, and Kasturi. The deers which bears musk. Besides the deers, there are many banana trees which decorate the small hillside lakes very nicely. The small lake named Alakananda, in which Sati used to take bath, and that lake is especially auspicious. All the demigods, after seeing the specific beauty of Kailash, were struck with wonder at the great opulence to be found there. According to commentary from Sri Bhagavat Chandra Chandrika, the water in which Sati used to bathe was Ganga water. In other words, Ganga flowed through the Kailash Parvat. There is every possibility of accepting such a statement because Ganga water also flows from the hair of Lord Shiva. Since Ganga water rests on the head of Lord Shiva and then flows to the other parts of the universe, it is quite possible that the water in which Sati bathed, which was certainly very nicely scented, was Ganges water. Actually, in Himalayas, if we go to any of these Char Dham, Haridwar, Rishikesh, sorry, especially when we are going for Char Dham Yatra, where we find Ganga and Yamuna, so nice, serene water. It's more than mineral water. So nicely, you can directly take and drink. It's very fresh and very soothing. So when the demigods saw the wonderful, beautiful region known as Alaka in the forest known as Saugandhika, which means full of fragrance. The forest is known as Saugandhika because of its abundance of lotus flowers. Sometimes Alaka is also known as Alakapuri, which is also the name of the abode of Kubera. Kubera's abode, however, cannot be same as cannot be seen from Kailash. Therefore, the region of Alka referred to here is different from the Alkapuri of Kubera. According to Viragacharya, Alka means uncommonly beautiful. In the region of Alka that the demigod saw, there is a type of lotus flower known as Sugandhika, which that distributes an especially fragrant scent. So this is a speciality of Lord Shiva's abode. And then they also saw the two rivers named Nanda and Alakananda. These two rivers are sanctified by the dust of lotus feet of Supreme Personality about Govinda. My dear Katta, Shakta, Vidura, the celestial damsels came down to those rivers in their aeroplanes with their husbands, and after sexual enjoyment, they entered the water and enjoy sprinkling their husbands with water. Now, propagating a huge purport. It is understood that even the damsels of heavenly planets are polluted by the thought of sex enjoyment, and therefore they come in aeroplanes to bathe in the river Nanda Alakananda. It is significant that these rivers Nanda and Alaknanda are sanctified by the dust of lotus feet of Supreme Lord. In other words, just as Ganges is sacred because its waters emanate from the toe of Supreme Lord Narayana, so whenever water or anything in touch with devotional service to the Supreme Personality is purified and spiritual. The rules and regulations of devotional service are based on this principle. Anything in touch with the lotus feet of Lord is immediately free from all material contaminations. And Prabhupada said, the denizens of heavenly planet, polluted by the thought of sex life, come down to bathe in the sanctified waters and enjoy sprinkling water on their husbands. The two words are very significant in this connection. Riti Karshitha means the denizens becomes morose after sex enjoyment. Although they accept sex enjoyment as a bodily demand, afterwards they are not happy. Prabhupada not writing reason, but they are not happy, it seems. After significant, another significant point in this is that Lord Govinda, Supreme Lord, is described here as Tripada. Tri means Tirtha Pada. Tirtha means sanctified place. Pada means lotus feet. People go to a sanctified place to free themselves from all sinful reactions. Maha Kumbh Mela. In other words, those who are devoted to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Krishna automatically become sanctified. Lord's lotus feet are called Tirtha Pada. because under their protection there are hundreds and thousands of saintly persons who sanctify the sacred place of pilgrimage. So in Artham Das Thakur advise us not to travel to different places of pilgrimage. Undoubtedly, it is troublesome to go to from one place to another, but one who is intelligent, please hear, one who is intelligent can take shelter of lotus feet of Govinda and thereby be automatically sanctified by the results of his pilgrimage. We should have faith in the words of Shastra. So here so clearly it is told that we need to take shelter of Lord. We need to take shelter of Bhagavatam. But what happens is people have more faith in other going to Kumbh Mela. We are not against it. For devotees who want to practice pure devotional service, for them that is not needed. That is the point. Others, for everybody, it is needed. But for pure devotional service practices, not very. Anyone, yeah, and so he is telling, for he can enjoy all the benefits of such travel simply by engaging in the service of lotus feet. Such a pure devotee who has implicit faith in the lotus feet of Lord can create sacred places in any part of the world where he decides to remain. Tirthi kurvanti tirtha. The places are sanctified due to the presence of pure devotees. Any place automatically becomes a place of pilgrimage if either the Lord or as pure devotees remain or resides there. That's all. In other words, such a pure devotee who is engaged 100% in the service of Lord can remain anywhere in the universe, and that part of the universe immediately becomes a sacred place where he can peacefully render service to Lord as the Lord desires. After the dancers of heavenly planet bathed in the water, it became yellowish and fragrant with the kunkuma from their bodies. Thus the elephant came to bath with their wife. The she elephants, and they also drank the water, although they are not thirsty. So the aeroplanes of heavenly denizens were bedecked with pearls, gold, and many valuable jewels. The heavenly denizens are compared to clouds in the sky, decorated with occasional flags of electric lightning. The aeroplane described in this verse are different from the aeroplanes of which we have experience. Srimad Bhagavatam and Vedic literature, the many description of Vimana. When different planets, there are different kinds of aeroplanes. When on this gross planet Earth, there are aeroplanes run by missions. But on other planets, the aeroplanes are not by missions, but by mantric hymns. So this is the main difference. They are also used especially for enjoyment of the denizens of heavenly planets so that they can go from one planet to another. One on one other planet which is called Siddhaloka. The denizens can travel from one planet to another without airplanes also. Siddhaloka, no need of airplanes. Just think and you are reaching there. The beautiful airplane from the heavenly planets are compared here to the sky because that they fly in the sky. The passengers are compared to the cloud. The different damsels, the wives of the denizens of the heavenly planets are compared to lightning. So in summation, the airplanes with their passengers have come from higher planets to Kailash are very pleasant to look at. So we will continue our discussion tomorrow. Any questions, comments? Yeah, so there is one question in the chat box. Actually, I generally don't take the name. Yesterday, I took the names of a politician, and I also said that American president is good. Actually, I am not telling he's good. What I told is that what I wanted to mean, I might have told also, but what I want to mean is that uh, the question is, but he's criminal or whatever. So, point here, what I want to tell is the leader should be very strong. Strong in the sense he should make very strong decisions, which are good for the people. Even if he's a Prabhupada, he approves autocracy, then democracy. Why Prabhupada is favoring autocracy, then democracy? because in that one person makes very strong decisions, and because of which he can curb the mischievous fellows. Like when King Vena, he was the king. That time, all the rogues, thieves, they were hiding here and there. They could not come out because he is such a great villain himself that other small villains they could not survive only. So this is actually one more thing that uh, if a king is very strong, even though he may have some strong ideas, but he's little. What is the some things which I appreciate him in is he is against abortion. He's against gay marriages. He's against some. He's a little orthodox person. So some of the things uh, I say okay, these are good. At least he's against them. So this is some of the things which are good in him. Of course, everybody has their own weakness and everybody has their own way, but he's quite straightforward for them, and he does not encourage wars. America supporting wars also. So there are some things which are good. Of course, I am not supporting him or against him, but there's some things which are good about him. I'm just trying to tell, because this is people are so going so gross in terms of this marriage, man and man marriage, and killing the child in the womb. At least he's speaking against them, so we should appreciate that much part. I don't know more than that. Yes, Sita Kanpu. Sita Kanpu, you can unmute it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavanam.
And
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the class. Prabhuji, this Gopeshwar Mahadev, like Asheshwar Mahadev, when we go to Vrindavan, and recently I had been to Puri, there are also many Kshetra Palakas are there, Prabhuji. So like Loknath temple, like, many Shiva temples are there. Even when we go to that in Puri, that is Tota Gopinath, Prabhuji, there also one Shiva, inside that same temple only, the one small Shiva temple also is there. So what the devotees are saying, first you should visit all, you should take the blessings of Shiva and then you go to Krishna, like that they're saying.
at least for Vrindavan, we should do. Other places, we always, if we are having that access to worship him, means go to him, pray, we can pray. But basically, the purpose of praying is to give up our false identity and go and surrender to Lord. Okay, I am actually servant, I'm your servant, but I'm somehow identifying with my body and mind, I'm caught up here. So that is the principle basically. Worshipping Shiva is to help us to get rid of our false identity and engage in the service of Lord.
I think that Tota Gopinath project, Puri Jagannath temple, they're also they're worshipping Shiva Prabhuji. I think they're doing Aarti for Radha Krishna now. I mean that the deities, and I think they're worshipping this
We
also.
don't know what mode they are worshipping. For us, we worship is we just offer him and ask him, let me become pure devotee of Krishna. That's what we pray to Lord Shiva.
And Prabhuji, and like Shiva, I mean like today Shivaratri, like visiting Shiva temples, and like what do you say about the devotees?
If
Our
they are
devotees.
very nearby, for me, if I walk from my just I come out of my room and walk for 2 minutes, I'll reach Shiva temple. So if it is so near, you can go take his blessings and come. If it is very far, you need not separately make an endeavor, but we can. We already heard about glories of Lord Shiva today, so we have done very good job of glorifying Lord Shiva today. But if somebody has an access to go, they can go, but it's not compulsory for us.
One more thing, na? Generally, we whatever we are seeing in our South Indian, Prabhuji, that and all, I think that's all Sadashiva worship. All. Correct, no, bro? It's not Rudrashiva worship.
See, Sadashiva only expands as Rudras.
Okay.
So they're all his expansions only. Only one Lord Sadashiva is the original person, and all are his expansions only. So
Prabhuji, went to Kasi, na? One temple, I think Kalabhaishwar, I think Kalabhairava temple. So, like how we give coconut flowers, they are giving wine bottle and all. So then I understood, yeah, that's maybe Rudrashiva worship. It's a Kalabhairava actually, expansion of Shiva only. Then I understood, okay, this worship is in Tamogna. I mean, like it's a different kind of worship. I understood.
Yeah, many Tamoguna people are there. There are Rajoguna people, there are Sattuguna people. Different types of worshippers are there for Lord Shiva. Many of them are in Tamoguna only. So all these types of worships, and to facilitate them, see, such living entities are there. Now for them, there should be some worshipable Lord also who will do the job of becoming the Lord for such fallen conditioned souls. Lord Shiva is so merciful. He agrees to become Lord for them. So he behaves in such a way that they can relate to him and they can continue worshipping somebody. Like no, previously like they say, oh, you cannot enter into temple. So some of the outcasts were not allowed to temple. So now
Yes,
for them, there should be some worshipable Lord also.
yes,
So that way, their Lord Shiva facilitates them. I said, okay, I'll be your Lord. I'll dress like you people. You can relate to me because I stay in crematoriums, apply ashes, put snakes around my neck, and have a garland of skulls. So all these things arrangement by Lord Shiva to facilitate these living entities. Because some of them are not, they are not allowed into Vishnu temples also because they look like that. But who will help them? Lord only comes as Shiva to help them.
One more thing about it, demigods, I mean, what I heard is demigods, they don't have a gross body like us. So it's mentioned that, that they also having sex and after that they're feeling, it's not good. So, like, how are we, like, is
Their pleasures are more subtle, bro. We cannot understand. It's very gross for us. For us, na, we cannot relate only. We will not know also some of the things. We only know for us it's very, very gross, but it is not for them. They can remain pure in spite of all these things.
okay,
So,
and
because
Prabhuji,
their
like,
bodies are meant for enjoyment, not like our bodies. So
uh,
their body is meant for enjoyment, so they can remain pure in spite of doing anything. And there is now no adultery also. Apsaras are there, they're heavenly uh, denizens. So they can associate with anybody and can remain pure also. And no contamination, no sinful reactions for them. For us, it is sinful reaction.
oh,
Yeah.
so this, yesterday, Prabhuji, I was reading 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita, lust, greed, anger are gateways to hell, Prabhuji, they're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Also in the Srila Prabhupada's lecture, some purports I heard that, sex pleasure is the highest pleasure in the material world.
yeah,
So somebody, like somebody is like lust, greed, and anger, three are gateways to hell.
yeah.
So if somebody is having lustful thoughts, means it's like kind of because other, as you said, like other doesn't give much pleasure probably. So lust, somebody, like is having too many lusty thoughts, sex desires. So it means it's a kind of like so more worse than others, like anger and greed, or
No, what happens is that will continue. That will all other bad qualities will come once you have this one bad quality. So this is like it will generate other bad qualities. Lust is there, then anger comes, then greed comes, pride comes, everything will come.
okay. Generally in ISKCON, most of the many of the fall downs, like because of this only. I mean, if I generally we hear from the devotees that most challenging is because of some illicit activity they do. The other three generally, at least Indians, they don't do. But yeah,
See,
Indians.
all fall downs is because of offenses only, bro. One is condition nature. Condition nature, na Krishna will forgive. He will not fall down. He may be having some conditioning problems with his conditions. Fall down means when he leaves Krishna conscious, that is actually fall down. And
Oh,
comes from his standard also is fall down, but that Krishna will take care. But if you commit offenses, then that is like very dangerous. So, and even if some devotees are having this problem, they should start working on their quality of relationship and not commit offenses. Then Krishna will make sure that they will overcome these conditions. So we should not commit offenses, then we will not fall.
okay. So offense also the root cause of fall down probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Offense.
Main cause of fall down. That is the main cause actually.
Prabhuji in Bhagavatam first canto, some one of the proportional Prabhupada says, name and fame is a subtle success, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So it is more danger and the actual the grass that name and fame.
Yeah, see what happens, see, initially you overcome gross problems, then you have to come work with settle problems. So that is very difficult also. That's why it is considered as the urine of a donkey. Ksharan Mutra Bharakara. So Raghunath Das Goswami compares, and even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they compare with the stool of a hog and urine of a donkey, all this thing comparison, because it is so subtle that we cannot give it up so easily. Like that's the reason.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji. Okay, fine, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for this.
iPhone is Vanamali Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, please explain. Prabhuji, you know, see, we always anchor we have behind mercy, right, Prabhu, right?
Yeah.
So like we associate with gurus, guru or Vaishnavas, and it's all about mercy. So I'm just kind of a little bit confused. So when you say not go to Kumbh Mela, it is not necessary because Kumbh Mela, there are so many exalted devotees. I mean, there could be some Shaivites, but they could be the Vaishnavas also coming from wherever, or taking a bath, and also I'm sure that water that is there, the Triveni Sangam, during this Kumbh Mela time might be more auspicious than other times of the of the years, and also during Shivaratri, like like if we go to Maharaja's lecture or other Prabhuji's lectures, but Shiva is Vaishnavana Medashambhu is the biggest. We celebrate devotees' birthdays and stuff like that, and we fast until noon, especially Narottam Das Thakur or any of the great acharyas, and even during Guru Maharaj birthdays and stuff like that. And Lord Shiva is the number one Vaishnava. So why do you say that you should not take advantage? And if our consciousness of doing and the dip is to take mercy, I'm just asking out of curiosity. Why would you make a statement like not necessary like that? I'm just out of curiosity, I'm asking.
No, no, I am not against going there, bro. I am against the mentality. So it's not activity which we are doing counted. With what attitude we are doing counts. That is the most important. For us devotees, if we are going to the purpose of meeting great Vaishnavas to take their association, and no, this is the water wash from the lotus feet. We don't want to get rid of sinful reactions. We want to get mercy and Krishna prem. So if that is the purpose, all activity you can sit at home, chant the holy name, you go to Vrindavan, chant there, you associate. So the purpose is should be very clear. Now people, when they are going, the general people, they are going to Kumbh Mela is to get free from their sinful reactions. But for devotees, our purpose of going Kumbh Mela is to preach, distribute prasadam, distribute books, and connect to more and more people, give Krishna to them. That is the purpose of our going. Prabhupada went to Kumbh Mela for preaching. He didn't go for the purpose of bathing because our Kumbh Mela is like, for us more important is to associate with devotees because all our advancement is associating with devotees. We want mercy of Lord Shiva. We go to Lord Shiva temple. If the purpose of going to Lord Shiva temple is to get his mercy to become closer to Krishna, right? So it is not going, the activity of going is not a problem. What attitude we are doing, that actually makes the difference. Now, what we are trying to address here is we have to keep our attitude very clean. Now we should not get carried away. Oh, after 144 years it is coming. That is nothing to do with us. What is the point in 144 years? Even if it is after 1 year also, after 1,000 years also, for us, only thing is for us more important is Vrindavan, chanting the holy name, getting mercy. So this type of mercy, this is just basically to help a living entity free from sinful reactions. For us, the purpose is to change the heart. So that is a very great difference. Even if I am free from sinful reactions, but still I commit again sins because the tendency of committing sin is not gone. That's why Parikshit Maharaj is saying the same thing. It is Manye Kunjara Shaucha. It's the elephant taking bath. Why he is comparing with elephant taking bath? Even this Kumbh Mela, why it is called Tirthi Kuru? Sorry, they say no. This is Tirtha Buddhi. Why it is called Tirtha Buddhi then? Going to Kumbh Mela is such a good thing. Why it is called Tirtha Buddhi then? Tirtha Buddhi basically means you want to get rid of, but you are not working on changing the heart. That's why it is Tirtha Buddhi. Sayeva go karaha. You are considered a cow or a ass. Why it is like that? Why Parikshit Maharaj is telling that it is manne kunjar sauchot, all this prayaschitta, ato papam. So why is condemning all these things? He's not condemning, he's condemning the mentality. Arey, you are changing, you are working in like no. Yesterday in the class, one devotee is asking, Prabhuji, I was going Kumbh Mela with other people, other karmi people, and in that when Mataji was there, she's 55 like that, 55, 60 years. And she is trying to preach to this devotee and not preaching. She was actually telling, why are you not eating meat? It is going to give protein. I know. And she is going to Kumbh Mela and she is taking bath and coming. It is not changing her. She is continuing going to eat meat and all. See, now I'll tell. How many people will stop doing all these sinful activities after coming from? No, none of them. But if you make a person, instead of going to Kumbh Mela, you make a person sit and make him chant and make him understand Krishna conscious philosophy. Within 1 week, sometime within 1 day, sometime within 1 month, they will definitely stop eating non-veg and all the sinful activities they can give up, alcohol and all. But but if you go Kumbh Mela, it is not going to work like that. So this is
No,
the
Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji. I understand that. I totally understand that part. Sorry, I was wanting to ask. So I totally understand. But my question is, instead of saying, I'm just asking, instead of saying that, because there will be so many devotees, so many people coming, it's just because with the spiritual mentality, and also there'll be a lot of, I'm sure there'll be more Vaishnavas coming there. Then instead of saying, why go there as a material thing, because when you do book distribution, right, we during December marathon, we can just say, okay, why do book distribution in December? We can sit home and chant, why it is not necessary. But I'm just saying, when there's so many millions of people are coming, then you say, okay, you take this opportunity to go and preach. This is a good way of getting mercy of Krishna. Saying that would be a better way of kind of putting it rather than saying not necessary. I'm just asking, would that statement be okay like that? And also,
we
like
are
when
already distributing
when it
books and
comes
we are
to
doing
when it,
prashadam.
and also for example, Shivaratri, right? So instead of saying not necessary, I'm just saying, if you say, okay, you go to, so you go because it is Lord Shiva's birthday, he might be merciful. You probably fast and pray for him for pure devotion service. He might be more merciful and might give you like that. Would that be okay like that? I'm just asking if those
Acharya
things.
did not recommend fasting on Shivratri, so we don't do it separately. If somebody is already doing from childhood and is very much attached to that, then they can do it. But for others, it is not needed because it is not recommended by Acharyas. And when it comes, see, I very much appreciate, like we can go to Kumbh Mela, distribute anywhere there are big gatherings, we can go and distribute. But what is happening now? They get affected by this mood of I should also go to Kumbh Mela to take bath. That is actually why I am telling very heavily that is not
Okay.
needed. You are
So
having
then,
mood is
yeah, then
affected
just
by many of them.
uh,
Yeah,
so then
many
then
are
you
getting
can
affected by the
then
mood of this thing.
then you should say, if you say like you can go there but have this mood, then it'll benefit us more, like that would be beneficial. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
That would.
many of them are going, taking bath and immediately coming. Nobody is going and distributing books. Many of the devotees they are going there. Nobody is going for distributing books.
Is
And
that
they
okay?
will
Okay.
take bath and they'll search where is prasadam, eat and come back happily.
Okay. 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 Oh yeah. But Gauranga Prabhu, like he's taking a lot of advantage, like serving a lot of people and giving Krishna Prasad. That way, he's benefiting a lot of people. Right, Prabhu? Like, yeah. But yeah, it
Yeah,
makes sense. If you're going there just to take a deeper bath, it is not necessary. But if you're going there to take associate and then distribute books, then it probably beneficial. Okay.
yeah. Shyam Mukund is saying now 144 years they took bath. Now after 144 years again they will go and take bath. They'll continue to remain here only in this metal world. Every 144 years they'll come and take bath. So what is the point?
Yeah, that is so true.
So there's one question in chat book. Sometimes unknowingly we might commit an offense which might offend others. How do we handle it? Yeah, if we unknowingly do, then Krishna will forgive. So we should be careful. If we knowingly do, that is having a bigger problem. Unknowingly we do, we chant, the holy name will protect. Okay. Thank you very